The BHP podcast is proudly presented by Dead Downwind, Stealth Cam, Tinks, Skull Hooker, Grind Life Coffee. We also want to tell you guys to check out the new Fred Bear Field Notes podcast, available on iTunes or wherever you get your podcast. Learn about Fred Bear and his heritage. It's something you're not going to want to miss, and it's one of those things that really bring bow hunters together. Hello and welcome to the BowHunterPlanet.com podcast on this special evening. I'm here with myself. It's myself, Dave Thomas, here with Kevin Conlon and Bob McGee, and special guest Keil Jorgenson from Woods and Water News. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
Great.
Good.
So for those you don't know, coming up this year in Michigan, if you are a Michigander or decide to travel to Michigan in early September, late August, early September, first weekend, the outdoor weekend in Imlay City, Michigan is coming, and BowHunterPlanet will be there live doing our BHP podcast, which makes it super fun. And also, it gives you a good time to come out and just enjoy hunting life, because that's what that show really is to me. It's just everybody's there. It's one of the funnest things in Michigan that's done, and Keil is here to tell us about that show because we want to help promote it right off the bat now to get you guys out there engaged and having a good time, and come see us and see Keil and see what they do, because it is absolutely amazing and a lot to see. So Keil, I guess let's start real quick before we get into the show specifically. Let's talk about the Woods and Water News. Like,
Yes.
how did that start? Like, where did it come from?
It started about 36 years ago. I think it's 36 years now. And it started out, we have a county newspaper called Tri-City Times, which would cover, Imlay City, Elmont, Dryden, Capac. And it's a big farming community, big hunting community. And my dad, Randy, had an idea. He had the idea, but my late grandfather always wanted to do an outdoor type publication, type paper, something he thought, the demographics right there. So after he passed away, my dad's like, you know what, we got to do it. And so it started off as like a little tiny insert inside of the Tri-City Times. I mean, it was maybe 4 or 5 pages, something like that. And it just covered those tri-county communities, and it grew and grew and grew and picked up. And then after a couple years, like, well, let's kind of make it a separate entity. And it did that, and from then on, it just kept growing and growing and growing. And now we have well over 100,000 readers a month, and, we ship it out to a lot of states. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work. The challenge of print nowadays is still an issue, but we believe and we feel we have such a niche market that it's okay. And our readership's growing, subscriptions are going up, advertising's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and you kind of wonder with the times, like, as you know, with print, it's like, hey, do we scale back on that? Do we go digital? Do we do this?
Right, with today's day and age of everything going online and everything like that. But you know what? When you're at hunting camp, there's nothing better than sitting down with a Woods and Water magazine and checking out what the latest thing is.
And you're right, and we have seen that too. Is you've seen that kind of nostalgic mentality of a lot of people too, saying, you know what, I'm not getting the right service. Why do I sit in my hunting camp, my blind?
You gotta sit down with Woods and Water magazine and
sit
go
down
through it, and you read it 3 or 4 times, because there's
Absolutely.
always something new you're picking up.
Great articles and tips and good advertisers.
I love it.
My thing is, I pretty much pick one up every time I go on a hunt camp. So
Sure.
I think it's interesting, like, because I'll stop in the gas station no matter where I'm at. Usually it's in the Imlay City region, in that area. But
Sure.
I always stop in and I buy like beef jerky, maybe some cigars. But I end up always getting one of these before I leave.
I go all the way to UP and hunt every year, and I pick them up in the UP. I mean, are you in other states too? Because I swear I've seen Woods and Waters magazines.
We distribute to other states. So we hit a lot in northern Ohio, northern Indiana, but now we're shipping out a lot to the, Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, Minnesota type areas, down to Ohio. Iowa.
Now, do they change the content for their state?
We do not.
Okay.
Wow.
We do not.
Nice.
And that's something
Interesting.
we've talked about, but we're not going to mess with something that's not broken.
Right.
Man, this is we're just looking through the latest one.
Well, it's cool, it's cool because you don't run into anybody that hunts here in Michigan that doesn't know
Sure.
about Woods and Waters. You know, you talk about Woods and Waters, a lot of people get it through the subscription.
Yep.
A lot of guys that I know, you know, they pick it up at the sports shops and
Yep.
stuff when they go in to buy something. Oh, the new Woods and Waters. Here you go.
Yeah, it's a blessing.
Well, and it's not just hunting too, it's the fishing stuff, it's woods and.
Oh, it's,
Yep.
it's realty, hunting realty, you know,
Exactly.
everything.
Our real estate section's huge in the back, a lot of hunting land.
Yeah,
Oh, I missed that. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
You know, now we're getting into, traveling,
Dang.
the whole outdoors,
right.
not just skewing only towards hunting and fishing. We want to capture everything and everybody.
Like camping, things like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you know what, myself, there's been a lot of times I've picked up this magazine and I've learned a lot
Yeah.
from the articles,
Yeah.
you know.
Great writers.
Yeah, if you want to learn about hunting, fishing,
Yeah.
the latest
These are real
techniques.
deal guys, man. They're out in the field doing. Now, speaking of that, how many writers do you guys have? Because I know a couple that wrote for the magazine over the years too.
It varies. It varies. It's kind of hard to put a number on it just because we have so many articles coming in. And for example, we'll have one from, someone who wants to submit an article for the October issue.
Who, Lane Walker?
Right? Exactly. But, a lot of times we hold on to that and we'll say, okay, this one really can work for December issue. Or this one, maybe we'll hold on a little bit. Maybe there's one a little similar to that. We'll push it to the next October or the next November issues. So it's kind of hard to put a number on how many we have.
Explain to the audience that's listening how you go about choosing the articles that
articles?
you're going to run in the magazine.
Well, it's got to make sense for the season. It's got to make sense for the month. We don't want a duplicate article. We like a little controversy here and there. We like to throw some things in. But we don't want to duplicate an article and have someone be on page 34 and then page 76. It's pretty much the same thing, just coming from two different guys.
Yeah. Right.
So we like to spread that out and make it as informative as possible month by month.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, do you have any, I see you got the www.woodsandwaters.com. Are there articles on there too, or is it just,
There is.
there is?
There is, yes.
Okay.
And our website's getting relaunched, should be done any day now, which looks awesome. We've been working on it for a while, and it's going to look great. Plus, we have the outdoorweekend.net, which is all for the show.
Okay.
And that is a great looking site. It's got everything you need to know about the show in there, too.
So talk a little bit about the show. You went from the magazine, and then
Yeah.
when did the show start? And-
33 years ago,
Oh, that long ago.
1986.
Doesn't seem like it's been that long.
I was 3 years old.
I was
Is it-
going to say,
Is it always been at Imlay City
It is.
Fairgrounds?
It has always been at the Eastern Michigan Fairgrounds in Emily City. We didn't always use the same amount of space we've used in the past, Before, when we first started, it was, I was a little kid, and I can remember as much as I can running around with my dad and my uncle, and we used, I think, one building and one tent on the outside, and that was it. Had a couple seminars, that's it. And then we spread out to the whole grounds, and we've had some new changes to it. We got to get new exhibitors in, more exhibitor space, and it seems like it's growing nonstop, which is a good
it
problem
is.
to have.
And it's actually one of the bigger shows for Michigan, isn't it, as far as outdoor shows?
Yeah, Showspan puts on some great shows. They got some big shows, big numbers in the Grand Rapids, Novi areas. But I think as far as space and exhibitors, we're right up there. I mean, in the fall, there's nothing, close to our show.
One of my favorite parts of the show is the water dogs, the bird dogs and stuff.
Yep.
People that haven't seen it don't realize what they're missing.
Oh, it's so much
Watching the
fun.
retrievers and stuff go after.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
I like the puppies.
yeah.
A lot of people like the puppies.
And
But
then
my
don't-
favorite thing there is the BHP podcast. It's so hot.
BHP.
Yeah,
podcast is
BHP
great.
podcast is okay.
Don't they also, I don't know if they do it every year, but have the jumping dogs too?
We have,
Water-
yep,
That's what he was talking about,
Yep,
the
the
water
Ultimate
dogs.
Air Dogs.
Yeah,
Yep.
those guys, that's so funny.
And Milt Wilcox and his son Brian do that, and they've been around they've become the show for years.
Wilcox, Ex-Tiger ball
Ex-Tiger,
player.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm thoroughly impressed with the people that the show attracts as far as the seminars.
You should
Yeah.
hear the famous people it attracts too that Keil doesn't really talk about. They walk through with hats on and glasses, and you don't know who they are, but
Well-
they're very, very famous.
Yeah,
Very.
extremely incognito there. But, it's hard to put in words sometimes with the show and the attractions that we have and how cool it is.
Yeah.
You know, we have so many different things. Now one thing that's really blown up big time now is our waterfowl area, which is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, we're like outgrowing the space there. We're moving people around here and there, and that is a huge market right now that's hitting hard, and we got some great new exhibitors coming in for that too. So it's hitting everybody.
And it's all aspects of waterfowl. The gun dealers are out there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, every
the
aspect.
boats, the
call,
decoys.
The call makers, everybody.
The thing about that industry, though, I mean, that specific niche of hunting, is that it's very expensive, and so you're driving fast and hard right now with Sitka gear, and what they're doing in marketing is helping that industry grow by showing these amazing fun. I don't know if you've seen that. I know you've seen it, but that snowbird thing where they do those huge snow geese, whatever they are. I mean, it's just some cool videos that are being produced right now. I think engaging people to get outdoors and try it.
Yeah, it definitely does bring a whole new market to it. Like you said, it's not a cheap sport at all. Waterfowl is not at all.
For you guys, if your wives are listening, to send her out of the room.
Yeah.
They'll be like, another sport? No.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
no.
So what are you seeing? What are you seeing and hearing on the bow fishing side of it in Michigan? Are you guys seeing a lot of that, or not really? Or
Not as much as we'd like to.
Yeah.
We'd like to see more. And I don't know.
I would think it'd be a lot more. I just
You
saw
would
one
think.
picture of bow
Yeah,
fisher.
I mean,
in
we
the
see it a
magazine,
little
but-
bit, but we want to see like a lot of it. We want to see as much as we possibly can, and that's one we want to get into as well. Is seeing a lot more bow fishing, and if you're out there listening, you got articles and pictures, send them on in.
Yeah.
We'd love to have them.
Well, one of the things that's great about the show is the timing of it. It comes in September.
Oh, it's
in
the best.
early
yeah.
September.
Yeah, everybody's
And it's
geeked.
Gear
almost,
up.
to me, it's almost like this kicks off my hunting
Yep,
season.
everybody's
I
geeked.
come to a Woods and Water show, and by the time I leave there, I am like ready to hunt.
That is 100% the truth, and that's one thing that we got real lucky on from the get-go is we've always been 33 years the weekend after Labor Day.
Okay.
And for some reason, it just stuck and it all worked out with everyone's schedule and timing. But like you said, timing it's key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people are pumped up for the season. Temperature starts cooling off a little bit. Football's on TV. Fall's in the air.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And you know what? And you can get some great deals. on
Oh,
that
yeah.
kind of
Oh.
stuff.
Yeah.
You can get
Deals.
I know at the BowHunterPlanet.
Well, one of the
we
fir-
give stuff away. By the end of the show, we're giving it away.
One of the first tree stands I bought was from Woods and Waters.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I didn't see him there this last year when we worked it, but do you remember the Tree Walker
I do remember that.
organization?
I do remember
That was a
Yes.
kick-butt stand.
That was very cool.
Yeah, I kept that stand for ages until I gave up climbing stands.
Right.
And it was like, this is one of the best stands I've ever owned.
Yes.